Okay, I want to welcome everybody to Rocky Mountain Holsteins. We are a little different than most dairies. I don't know if you've been on a dairy farm before. We are what we call an elite breeding genetic farm. We only milk 30 cows. Probably 80% of those are very elite genetic cows that we use for breeding stock all over the world. I'll start back with a little bit of introduction about the farm. The farm is owned by two investors, David Chalik and Glenn Hockley. They invest their money in the cattle and put them in my hands. We do a lot of embryo transfer. We do a lot of IVF work. We put a lot of money into our animals, and we get a lot of money out of some of them. Every 2 years we have what we call a genetic sale. We just had one in July. We sold 104 animals, and the average was $9,000. There was one cow that sold for $197,000. We actually own a daughter out of her, so we start our next generation, and that's how we build up. The cows are looked after an old-fashioned way, lots of bedding, lots of straw, very comfortable. They're hand-fed. There's lots of TLC here. And like I say, we don't make our money by our milk check. We make our money off our breeding stock. The farm has been in operation for 12 years now. Don't know what else to tell you.
How long years ago did you have all this development around you?
It's been here for a while. We get along with our neighbors very well. We work close with them, communicate with them what we're doing, and when we go to haul manure, we let them know what we're going to do a week in advance, so it's not a big shock. They're very good. We've had a couple that weren't, and they moved away. I guess they realized we weren't going anywhere. The barn has been here for over 70 years, and it was an original homestead of the Chalik family, and they milked cows here at a family farm for a lot of years. So what I tell the people next door is, did you not see this building next door to you when you moved in? Just because there wasn't maybe no animals running around, it doesn't mean it's still not a farm. But we work very close with them. We get along with them very well.
Do you buy all your feed, or do you grow?
Yeah, we buy all our feed. Like I say, our main objective here is the animals. We don't spend our time in the field baling hay or cropping or doing anything like that. I pick up the phone and say, what do you got? I go grocery shopping is what I call it, and if I don't like it, I don't buy it, and if I like it, I buy it.
So how much acres do you have?
There's 140 acres with this farm, and we rent another about 100 acres next door, and it's all pasture land. Normally we run about 285 head. I think we're down to about 180 now with having our sale in July, and we'll have a lot of calves born here in the next couple months, and we'll be up there again in no time.
So you don't have a plan of how you might grow it beyond where you're at right now then?
The operation will not grow probably any more than it already has. A is the surroundings.
Yeah.
With the amount of animals we can have. This labor is a big issue. For a barn like this, for us to grow, we'd have to have a lot more labor, which it's hard to find one, let alone two.
Has that changed a bit with the oil and gas farming?
It has a little bit, but the problem is those guys that worked in oil and gas are used to a lot more money than what we can afford to pay. So it hasn't hit them hard enough yet, is what I say. I say wait till after the winter, and then some of them will come down to realistic, and you know, I mean, we give an honest wage, but I can't pay $45 an hour, and some of them are used to that. And I mean, their standards are going to have to come down a lot more.
It said in our program, I think, that social media is important to your marketing. Are you like the master tweeter for the farm, or?
I'm not. My wife is. She's just
Just on cue, that.
We do a lot on Facebook, and we have a website that we keep updated. We get a lot of inquiries from overseas, Italy, Japan, and all that, from people that follow us all the time. There's people that know our cow families, and they're following us, and you know, if we put on that we have a cow that we just flushed and got embryos out of, I mean, the phone's ringing and they're gone usually pretty quick.
Will you be showing at World Dairy Expo in Wisconsin next week?
We will not be showing there. We never sent any animals. We did send one for the World Classic sale, which is on October the 2nd at the World Dairy Expo. We will be taking 4 or 5 to the Westerner Championship show in Red Deer. And that's kind of our marker to see how we do there, and then we go to the Royal Winter Fair in Toronto. One of our big reasons for not going to World Dairy Expo this year is the dollar. Everything's 30-40% more when we get there, and when you're living in a hotel with 5 guys for a week and meals and everything and all that, it gets pretty expensive. And unless you really have the cow that you know is going to win and make you a lot of money, it's not worth it.
What goes through your mind when you hear with Trans-Pacific Partnership talks and supply management? I think the talks are getting started again next week.
Gets me hot. Yeah, I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. I think if it does happen, you'll see a lot of little farms like us, and that'll disappear.
Even just with more imports?
With more imports, because our price of milk will drop drastically. And I think when you see the price of milk drop drastically, you're going to have to expect that people are going to have to figure out where to get that money from. So they're going to start cutting corners, cutting costs. Maybe cows won't be looked after as well as they should. You know, maybe they won't get top quality feed. You know, and guys are going to say, well, sorry, I can't do it with another guy. I'm going to have to cut one guy out here. So, you know, then you have less labor, less help, you get less things happen.
What does your MP say about that? It's often described as sort of an east versus west thing.
Yeah.
Trans-Pacific Partnership.
I have never really got into it too much, but I think that if you're going to survive if it does happen, it'll be these big, huge farms will be the only ones that survive, and a lot of them will open up their own processing plants. I think it'll be a free-for-all. I think you'll see the quality of milk and everything will drop, because I mean, we watch how we milk and our quality of milk, but we're also getting close to 75 cents a liter. If it signs and we end up being like the Americans, we could be getting 25 cents a liter. So I can tell you what, any cow that's standing here, milk's going in the tank. I don't care what her quality is, because it's worth as much, right? So
You're more genetics than your milk, right? So you'd be exporting a lot of genetics. Then how does that kind of fit in with you in terms of, I mean, the TPP dairy concessions would be on the milk side.
Well, it'll be on every side, really, because you'll get guys that'll say, okay, well, you know, we have bulls go to stud, and some of them we expect a good $1 per dose of semen, but guys are going to say, well, I'll buy the $5, $10 stuff. I'm not buying the $60 stuff. So then it hurts us too, because we make royalties on our bulls. That's how we make our money, right? And guys will have less disposable income. So they'll say, well, I'm not going to go to their sale. I'm not going to buy anything. I don't have the money right now. And then the biggest thing will be a fluctuation in your monthly income as well. Like now we have a pretty steady income. We know what our milk check's going to be. We know what our feed costs are going to be. If this comes in, it's a negotiation thing. You negotiate with a plant. They give you a certain price for 2 or 3 months, and then it falls again or goes up.